back this time. Oh my goodness, this is a little tough here. I'm gonna have to do the intro all over again. So I was just saying, for the VOD, this is my second time restarting the stream today. Ironically, I was about to say that it should be pretty good now because I finally got a physical connection to my laptop. The laptop that I use for my stream and content making. So I thought maybe the internet connection will be much consistent and better, which I think it is. It's just that I think the network was struggling between wired and wireless connection. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we're good here. So last time we finished some architectural design for our game. Specifically, I did the combat part, and it looks complicated, but it's just basically some version of MVC. Just kind of cleaned up some of the connections so that there isn't too many like reoccurring connections and everything connecting to everything, to be a little bit more decoupled, as we like to say. So we'll see how that goes. So today we're going to continue making our little prototyping. I'll show you what I've done. I actually uploaded my game, or the progress of my code, onto GitHub for myself, a private repository. And then I am using the issues ticket feature on GitHub to keep track with all the tasks that I need to complete. And sorry, Verbeck, if you guys need to be probably, if you were on YouTube, you need to come to a different link. There's a new link for YouTube. It disappeared. It crashed. But yeah, I'm a little sniffly, trying to live life here. But hopefully it'll be all good. Let's see, just making sure everything is solid here with the setup. But yeah, I'm trying to be a little diligent about project management. I'm referring to this every now and then. I'm going to put it on my right side probably here to refer to whenever I need to. And then I have my Rogue RPG GitHub. Don't try to go there, it's private. Don't look at it. And I got a bunch of issues. And you can see that I've given it a label for like prototype MVP, minimal viable product. And I'm writing everything. I'm like, okay, let's see if this will help me stay connected with where the project's progress is. And I think it's been helping. I'm just being overwhelmed by how many like total tasks there are, but this is a good thing because it's really giving me the ability to see what's really remaining here. I was in the middle of implementing a move action, which was part of Dagger. There was like a ability thing, combat item and effects here. And then we add a bunch of items here. Voice says, have you been using Obsidian? Yes, I have. Look, it's pretty nice. Obviously, you can't do all the like complicated entity relationship chart and stuff like that, but it's really good for just really kind of diving deep into each things. And each of these boxes are files on its own, so I can add to it, which is great. I've been enjoying this, honestly. And then, so I have this going on. Let's see. The next thing I kind of wanted to work on here is the ability configuration, which I started on it, and you will see, you'll be surprised by how ugly everything is, but it's here. So for example, I can choose any configuration. It comes with like the setup of where the player is and which enemy gets added. And you can see this is like very rudimentary, but that's the whole point right now. I'm trying to get the prototype to be very rudimentary implementation. And we have these basic actions. This one actually comes from the item, so I was able to put that feature. And I was coming up with the implementation for each of the actions here. as part of the ability feature here. So I'm working on this. I said ability name, ability icon, cooldown configuration, and stamina cost for the actions. Right now, I made it so that there's a connection between this button, and then you can select the basically a tile, and then move the character. And then some of these things are not manually set, but they are using the action handler to grab some of the information. Abeling says, man, Amazon never called back for the interview. It's been 4 weeks now. I'm sorry. It happens. It's unfortunate. You're just going to have to reapply here and there. I do know that the job market is a little rough for anywhere between entry to like intermediate experiences. Speaking of, I figure, just to see where I am and in terms of like getting ready for needing to start having a job, I did start some process here. So I have some interviews that I need to finish in my inbox, one of which is Amazon. And I just applied through the website, or not the website, the actual Amazon job posting. But I'm like, wow, I'm so out of practice. I tried to do some like leak code hacker rank like interview practice for some of the problems. I'm like, oof, I don't remember this. I mean, I remember it, but it takes me a longer time to like get geared up. Tanner says, what kind of position are you looking for? Well, just the position that I had before. So before I started doing this full time for 2 years now, I was a software engineer at Amazon, then Google. So basically software engineer. I think I've rested enough that I can't probably go in as like the, what they call L6, which is SD3, like a senior. But I probably could, it's a probably easy bet for SD too. I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Specialty? No. A lot of these big companies just kind of hire as either full stack backend or front end. I'm a full stack, so these companies just hire as that though. The job qualification is always software engineer, software developer engineer, development engineer, as I say. Now, am I going to actually do it or not? That's Evelyn says, wow, Ezra keeps collecting top tech like Infinity Stones. I mean, I guess I could. I just applied to Amazon just because it's a safe bet for me, because I've done my longest job there. But who knows? I don't know if I'm actually committed to doing that. I'm really hoping that within the next few months or month or two that some things will work out differently, that I don't really have to commit to the interview, but I do have the interview in my back pocket, so to speak. Okay, guys, am I crazy or is my YouTube live stream struggling out here? No, it's not. Okay, good. I think we're good here. It's kind of interesting because I think I was limited at like 300 megabytes before, or megabits, but because I'm now wired in, without exposing my location. Look at this. Look at my download speed. Woo, gigabit. Tenor says, I work for Zoox, which is owned by Amazon. Oh, third party. Nice. I've worked with some of you guys before when I was in retail. Infant says, keep up the great work. Thanks. I appreciate it. We're on prototyping phase right now. And I've uploaded to GitHub, and I've been using the issues section as my project management. And I have a label specific for prototype MVP. I'm not doing any type of like t-shirt sizing. I'm just doing it as Kanban without a weight, just doing it as I need to. So we'll see how it comes around. So I was saying that I was in the middle of implementing our movement. Movement works, but right now my movement action doesn't have any kind of like oh, the spaces limitation, like where can you move and where can you not move. No such thing. There's no blocking by the enemy, which is something that I probably need to implement. And then the stamina based movement. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to say, as part of the subtasks to this, we'll create cooldown applies on action, apply cooldown, and disable indicate remaining cooldown information for action buttons. That's going to be one of my MVP targets here. Another one is stamina cost. Stamina cost for action. Hold on. I'll be back, okay? I feel like I hear some noise. But yeah, so we're making progress. Just chilling. All right. Ablink says merch. Tenor says, but mostly release / build engineering. Oh, wow. They have a whole role for build engineering. Like, I thought I'm used to places having rotation for that. And it's only necessary if you don't have CDCI. Well, even if you do, actually. When I was in Google, because they're a monorepo, there were more like, there was like a release candidate and cherry pick meeting, which was interesting. Going from Amazon, where each company is like microservices that goes up by itself. Interesting times. Ablink says merch. Tenorist, what is release build engineering? You mean CI/CD, DevOps? Yeah, basically, yes, that. Ablink says, Ezra, was the clothing store profitable? Was it profitable? No, I don't think so. A few people who wanted to buy bought stuff, and that was kind of the goal for it. I was excited about releasing it, and it's still there. I do want to add more Berry Folk related merch too. I just didn't want to do Berry Folk as a start because it's just really specific to us, and nobody's gonna recognize it outside of us. But I guess that's kind of like the fandom as well. So we'll think about that eventually. Tenor says build infra for CI/CD, automation for release process, manage release itself too. So combination of release management and release engineering. That makes sense. That sounds like the job description. It's kind of interesting that your company has that as like a dedicated job role. Must be interesting. Evelyn says, Tenorist, any advice for me as an international new grad doing masters in CS? Tenor says, yeah, we are monorepo too. Yeah, monorepo and release management role kind of makes sense that you would have that for a monorepo. Tenor says, honestly, I don't know how I feel like I got kind of lucky. I mean, that's how we all feel, I think. We all feel we got a bit lucky out here when we get the job. I mean, obviously, there's a whole like interview. You can do interview, but I do feel like most people who know how to code can pass an interview after a certain amount of practice. It really is just matter of like the mood of the interviewer, opportunity, the timing, what you happen to be most interested in. And it's mostly vibe, honestly. It's all fake, everyone. It's all fake. So, having said that, that also means that I don't try to take particularly too much pride in the fact that I've had the opportunity to work in such spaces. Because I know for a fact that having conducted interview as an interviewee and interviewer, that it's really heavily dependent on a lot of variables other than skill set and ability. Snabina should be spent and checked for action availability. Okay, that's another one, which means I think I want to probably do the stamina UI indicator first, I guess. So we're going to have some UI here. Combat display. Update board display on combat UI based on the state of the player combat. So sub issue here we have is stamina display. Stamina amount. Progress icons should show an update based on amount index. Should only show. I don't know if the stamina will be part of the reaction calculation. You know what? I'm going to keep it at that. So I'm going to do stamina display first. That's going to be MVP. Nightbat says, I wish I could hang, but I have a meeting with project manager. We disagree with how important their ask is. Oh, typical. I know the feel. Good luck, Nightbat. Tenor says, we have an infra team, release engineering section of it, build section of it, etc. And a lot of teams have a dedicated release management role. Yeah. Typically on-calls take that for each team, if I recall correctly. Because they will be responsible for responding to any release that went out that caused a bug. Tenor says, the longer I am in the company, the more I realize people fake their way into a role. 100%. And some people are more fake than the other. I feel like at base, everybody's like pretty much similar. Okay, here's what I noticed. I think it's not really even the difference between how knowledgeable people are about the subject. It's about how lazily they take the role. Like, I could have two people who understand the role and has capability of understanding it, but one of them will do like bare minimal understanding just in time, and the other person will be too obsessive and then learn everything about it, but then not be useful until they understand everything. I think both are kind of meh approach. I lean towards more like doing things like just in time, learning things just in time, but it comes with its own stress, so I can't recommend that for everyone. Oh gosh, I can feel my nose being a little runny. I have to go clean that up, blow it or something. But yeah, I wanted to put my HUD for stamina maybe down here. I mean, I could change it later. The whole point is that I should be able to change wherever it is. I'm gonna create a little combat, and then under UI, I'll create a stamina display. That's going to be its own control. Stamina display, maybe even panel. I might actually make it into a panel container potentially, so that it has the sense of sizing. Let's see. Oh, a lot of chat here. Apeling says, hey, Tenors, the first step is always the hardest. Tenor says, yeah, getting future jobs is much easier because it's less risk for those companies. Yeah. Unless you are really just going for, sometimes it is a money issue. Like if I say as a team lead, I'm like, okay, we just need more hands on deck, but I don't want to hire and waste the resource on getting somebody like high level because it's more expensive. I'd rather hire two lower levels to do menial work. Then the job opportunity opens up. And that's why the balance of like fewer senior and more junior level kind of lines up. But, you know, I know where things are moving. Nate Staspace says, or Natesta, maybe? Says, can you share your GitHub here? I'm on mobile and can't read. My GitHub is private for this particular one because it's like I don't want it to be publicly available at this point. But you can, I mean, you can look at it. It's private, so people can't really do anything with it. I'm using it as my repository more than anything. Um, but I guess in the future I could open it up. I don't want my game to be open source particularly. Some of the toolings can be open sources. Hold on, I'm gonna go blow my nose because it's really annoying me. I'll be back, everyone. Be patient. Okay. Gee. Very sniffly day. It's been very cold out here. Stay safe, everyone. Nate, Natesta or Nate says, okay. Yeah. Um, there are other stuff that I share, but this is just not one of them. Maybe though, maybe if I'm like I released a game and then it doesn't sell much, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna release it for people to use. Sure, I could see that happening. Let's see. Ooh, I'm connecting to something that's already connected, eh? That's kind of annoying. We'll probably do the check here. Is connected. I'm doing this just-in-time connection for action handling, so we'll see. I'm gonna draw some stamina icon here real quick. I actually need to download the color palette. I downloaded the color palette on the my other machine that I drew the drawing with, but I didn't do it here, so I gotta make sure I do that. Tanner says, I'm technically a manager, so I don't actually do as much development. Oh, fun. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I would love to do that. Seems pretty chill. I feel like, though, like I hate getting pulled into all kinds of meetings, but I feel like mentally it lets me be off of the job even when I'm off instead of like being on call and stuff like that. Terrace also says to Ape Link, you should find a specific job that sounds fun to you and try to do a home project around it to show off. But realistically, just look for entry-level position to see what sounds like something you'd enjoy. Yeah. I'd even go as much okay. This is like very much a boomer thing to say of me. I don't usually believe in this. But if you're like actually like beginner where you have zero work experience, I'd almost say don't worry about the fun of it. Fun of the job or interest of the job. Because no matter what the job is, eventually you will get to a part of the job where you have absolutely no excitement for, but you just kind of have to do them. And you want that to be your default in terms of like how well you navigate that. And if you're going to do that, might as well do it when you have energy for it, which is when you were younger and just fresh out of college where everything is green and amazing, Let's see. I'm going to probably put that palette in the project folder so I can keep it in the repo as well. Man, there's a dog upstairs that is very upset right now. I can hear him cry. Rogue RPG here, and then I'll say maybe have a separate folder for art resource. Then we have our fantasy palette that I'm going to use, and then I'll create a little thing, and probably set something as a default palette. So I'm going to load my Rogue RPG art resource in this. I'm going to save this as my, as a default or preset, and call this Fantasy Pastel RPG, I guess. And then it's available now. I'm going to just do a little painting here. I would say probably 32 by 32 is a little too big for an icon, but I'll do it. Derzua says, how and why, or how and when did you get into game dev? So, you know, while back when I was working in corporate job, there was an opportunity. I was kind of semi working on a game team, but it was like an experimental platform, specifically voice assistant. And there I got to work on a lot of like choose your own adventure type. So like a lot of RPG. And that's also when I really got into tabletop RPG as well. And from there, I would say, you know, I was really into game design, the psychology behind game design, the product creation. Like I enjoyed making products and stuff like that. And toolings. I made a dialogue management tool and stuff like that. And there I got to work and release full game in big quotes. And that was like my first like professional exposure to the world. There was no graphic, but there were all the project related experience with that. And after that, you know, I went back to working in some boring teams, like between Amazon and Google. And then I got laid off during the big tech layoff like 3 years ago now, I guess. And then I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this. So I just immediately turned on my camera and started vlogging plus doing game development. It was a vlog about me making game development basically after the layoff. So yeah, so it's been like 2.5, 3 years now. And then now we're at a place where I've been doing a lot of tutorial creation. I've been focusing on a lot about like content making in regards to targeting other developers. So this year I'm doing a lot of challenges with a lot of people because I see a lot of people are also struggling with finishing their project and releasing their game. So I'm taking right now as like the opportunity to release a game with the community. When I say with the community, I don't mean like making this game with everyone, but I mean like, hey, we're going to be accountable for each other. We're going to do weekly updates. And then hopefully from my pace and from other people's pace, and by having fun sharing our projects, we'll all finish a game this year. I'm taking things a little bit seriously in that I'm doing like architectural designs before even starting. I have the GitHub. I made a GitHub to do some like project management stuff. So I'm right now working on the prototyping phase. Devi says back. Hello again. Hi, Devi. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's see. Tanner says, I had to refresh and think I missed some stuff. I'm not a fan of meetings if I need to go do dev work, but if my expectation is manager, then meetings are fine. Yeah, exactly. I do think that I have a knack for managing just because I'm one of those devs that have like high communication skills, which apparently is rare or something like that. always in my former job, I always ended up being the kind of like the liaison between tech and management and business, just because I don't know how it happened, but that never influenced my well, it did, but not really, not in a meaningful way. My performance. Leginger says, "Yo yo yo, how doth the day go, my dude?" Day is going well, but I am a little sniffly, as you can hear. I feel a little gross sniffling into the mic, but I don't know what I can do. I have to do this. Natesta or Nate says, "Yes, sir. Those fresh out of school days are awesome. Stay away from the parties and get some work experience instead. Cool to see you on live. Gotta go. All right, bye. Thanks for stopping by, Nate." Devi says, "Make sure you drink some ginger soup." Oh, I should. I should probably drink some hot tea too. Leginger says, "I sent you a progress video of what my 10-hour stream yielded in DMs." Ooh, I'll take a look later when things are more private out here. But thanks for sharing. Unless it was meant for me to see right now. Just say the word and then I'll take some time to read instead. Combat UI. Stamina display. We're going to say this one is empty. Stamina bubble. And then we're going to say this is filled stamina bubble. Boop. Okay. Thanks for the follow. Tau Forge. TF. Welcome. Leginger says, "Everything I send is always for everyone to see." Okay, cool. Well then, let's see what you sent me, Leginger. Legingery Ginger. Yeah. Ooh, progress here. All right, everyone, since everyone is excited for this. Ah! I just full screen off on the wrong monitor. All right, here it is. Hold on. I can't hear it. Is it this? Oh, there's a little clicking. Ooh, hey, you changed this structure. It's bigger and more significant. It's obelisk. Oh, I like this. Did you manually draw this animation? Nice. Whoa. Some end game content.
That's pretty good.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Leginger says, "Yeah, artist did it." Okay, so it's a baked in to the pixel art. Sick. Well, thanks for sharing that. It's great to see a lot of progress on that game. You're definitely going to do something with that for sure. Something positive. Tao is smiling and says, "Wow." Wow, indeed. Leginger says, "I haven't done sound effect for the thing." Yeah, the sound is always like the lagging thing, the one that always gets away, I feel. Leginger says, "All stages of orbs are set up. All progression mechanics are in. Just a lot of refining to do." Oh man, refining takes a while. Maybe you also need to have a MVP task list to decide which is above the line and below the line. It does definitely help manage your, what do you call, project in ways that feels less like hand wavy, I guess. I'm sure you're already doing that. All right. So I think we were on stamina display here. So we're going to do that right now. And stamina display right now is panel. And I think I'm just going to do probably a HBox container because I want it to go this way. And grab a little bit of script. Stamina display. And we'll have export value that is value, which is current value, and then max value, which is the max value. let's say 10 for now. It's probably going to be more like 4, but we're going to do that. Leginger says, I've not used a single method for tracking stuff. I just have big brains. Just big brains juggling everything. Well, you're finishing something, so you must be doing something right. So, hey. Tao says, how you feel about Godot 4.6 new feature default theme? I heard about it. I like the graphical improvement of everything. It looks very interesting. I haven't done a deep dive into it. I kind of want to do it separately. I can't really talk about it because I didn't really look at it. But I see a lot of people getting excited about it. Namely, Cooley was talking about it today in the chat in our Discord. And I'm willing to look into it. Thanks for the... Oh, never mind. Devi says, I'm excited. I finished the first... Huh? Okay, I definitely missed some chat here. That's all good. It's 30 seconds. Go for it. We did that. Everybody's name is green, so it's hard to tell whose is who now. This is all same color. Devi says, I'm excited. I finished the first goal of the year. This year is our investing year, so we found 10 devs and picked out one to invest in. Wow. How exciting. That's sick. Get that investment in. I have to be like, Devi, you can invest in me, but once I have actual game. I'm not going to even be like, hey, people, invest in my game or whatever until I have the demo and like the plan of action for releasing schedule, like the first release schedule. Then I can be like, well, here's a release schedule, but if I get enough investment that might upgrade, like there's actual promise that can be made. That's my way of looking at it. Devi says, lol, you know what, I like the look of your game, so I'll bump it up. Haha. 2 won't be bad to invest in. Perfect. Tara says, I'll talk so it helps. Lol. Nice. Iodine says, sorry, I was trying to see what this stuff does. Okay. Well, planting berry folk. Did you do it already? No, you got to plant the berry folk. When you redeem plant, you get a little plant on it on the screen. And then you got to water it 9 times to get one of these berries. You can see the type of berries you could get on the top right corner and how many are available and how many are out. You can see how rare things are. And there's a shiny versions of it. It's my little integration I made in Twitch. You can kick. You could actually, not only can you kick, you can sit, you can fire. Wait, isn't that fire? Oh, throw. You can throw bullets. It doesn't do anything. And then you can jump. Woo. Of course, you can change your berry types. Let's see. Change berry to... I'm going to do squat berry, because that's my favorite berry. There it is. All right. That's what that is. That's what that integration is. Devi says... Oh, Void says green. Devi says, well, it's too late. We already agreed on you. Haha. Oh, okay. All right, great. Now I'm actually, Devi, I have to say I'm like more motivated to finish then. We'll get this out. 3 games with price of 1. That's how I see it. Ida says, it has to water first. Nope, it has to water first. Did it? You have to plant first. Thanks for the follow, Iodized. I appreciate it. Tao says, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed making it. I really wanted to make a mini game for that, but right now we're a little bit distracted. Okay, so for the display itself, what I'm going to do is probably... there's several ways to do it. I think I'm going to do it the less nested way. I'm not going to make icon just for it. I'm going to just have the texture loaded, preloaded here. And then when I'm adding a, I guess, set or update render, we'll do the whole pass thing. It's going to grab this. And then grab his children. and check everything. Devi says, I'm thinking about opening it back up to 4 devs because the investments are 1 to 10K payments. We have to work with our tax man to make sure they are counted as gifts or something. I just told Leon I want to invest, and he said yes, but let's think of taxes. That makes sense. Taxes are always the issue with everything. But, you know, you're doing amazing work with this, Devi. You're really making people's dream come true. That's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Tara says, don't mind me just saving the world one plant at a time. Exactly. We're environment friendly stream here, where we burn the planet in order to plant fake digital tree. Hey, be happy that I'm not one of those crypto bros where it's like, okay, well, this is now a what is it? Oh, gosh, NFC, not NFC. Gosh, NFC is near field. Geez, NFT. God, that's so funny. Yeah, NFT. That was like lol. Yeah, you can tell that my brain is a little bit fried right now, feeling a little dopey. Okay, so we were saying update render. We're going to check the counts here based on the max value. Probably do, let's see, boop, get children, and that's going to be just a bunch of texture rects. Not sure if it's gonna work. I mean, it will. You know what? I'm gonna make an icon. I'm gonna make a separate icon because I do feel like there's like chance that we might have to do like blocking out a stamina, temporary stamina, and they're all gonna look different. So it'll say stamina bubble. And then this one is going to have a texture rect here. For now, I think I'm going to simplify it. I'm just going to have 2 of them that turns on and off. Instead of loading and unloading different texture, we're just going to do this for now. Full, empty, and then the bubble itself will have a code script here. Stamina bubble. And obviously, we're just going to toggle this based on the export variable value, which is full. And then when this sets, we'll probably do, let's see. Hey, Cooley. Hi. We were just talking about you when somebody asked if I'm excited about 4.6. And I said, I'm not really sure, but Cooley seems to be. But I'm gonna look into it so I can make a video about this. I've been pretty busy last week. I've been very occupied for some reason. So I didn't really get around to finishing a lot of the videos that I wanted to make this week. At least I have my weekly update that I need to make probably by tomorrow. And then I wanted to release another more technical video. It was supposed to go out Monday, but I didn't get to do that. So maybe it'll go out on Friday. And then one more light video. I wanted to do 3 videos this week, but time seems a little tight. Update display. Sorry, my brain is also operating under a heavy load. Birdie says, Lamau, I was like, it is NFC. What do you mean? So who's more fried? Exactly. You know, I should have gone with that. It's all about the confidence. You've heard that word before. What is it? There are some English words that don't mean anything that people use very confidently. And then somehow everybody agrees on the meaning of it, but it's not an actual word. What is it? Alex says, hello, hello. Hello, Alex. Alex Mercer. Welcome. Cooley says, I felt that. Time feels impossible right now for me. Yeah. It's something's going on. Something, you know what it is? It's not only just the life and everything that is going on. It's just the overall background noise that's happening in our lives with what's going on politically around the globe. The weather, environment, just in general, it seems more than ideal at the moment. Literal. Oh, whoops. Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit frustrating stream for some of you guys to watch me here, because oh boy. There you go. And I'm gonna make this tool because it's small enough that I think this is completely a visual. I think completely visual component that doesn't require any calculation other than toggling. So I like to use those as like a tool tag, so it's easier to debug, like so. Beautiful. It's working as intended, as our good Lord intended, is what they say. I'm sure. I'll keep this as a keep here. Maybe I keep it as a keep aspect. Keep aspect. What have you done? Is probably what people are saying. Ezra, what have you said just now? No. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm saying what I'm saying. I do think that I kind of want to center this. I'm going to center it actually. That's probably good. Cooley says, yeah, for sure. I find myself having to disconnect more often these days and just enjoy a moment to myself. Yeah, exactly. I mean, part of me is like, okay, it's fair to be overwhelmed and whatnot, and it happens. But also, there's like a guilty conscious part of me that's like, man, if I'm just running away from this, or like if I'm just ignoring this thing happening, I feel like I am participating in the act by not saying anything or not absorbing it. Alex says, what is your opinion on the latest Dragon Ball news? What? There's a Dragon Ball news? What's happening? You should tell me. Tenor says, what does the tool tech do again? It isn't something I've used much. It's actually really useful. Tool tag makes it so that the code runs in the engine while you're in an editor mode. So a lot of the parts, like you just saw, if I show the bubble here, this toggle logic where the icon changes, its visibility changes. You can see the visibility changing based on this flip. Typically this only happens during the runtime. But by putting the tool tag on it, everything under the script is able to run while on the editor screen. It's great for like very specifically visual changes or components or nodes that are strictly visual. I only like to do that because if it is not strictly visual and it has some game logic in it, then sometimes if it breaks on the editor because it runs during the runtime of the editor, then it crashes your engine. Then you can't open it back up until you manually go change the script to get rid of the tool tag, which can be a debugging headache sometimes. Okay, so I've done this plenty of times. I know how to do this where basically I'm going to grab the container and get its children. And this is going to be a type of a stamina bubble. I do believe I just misspelled that actually. Hold on. Where is it? Stamina bubble. Oh, we're already in there. Yep, stamina bubble. Okay, that's right. Sometimes And then we're going to say, hey, how many are there? So this is going to be obviously a list of nodes, I believe. Yeah. Array of nodes, which will be called bubbles, like so. Is it going to yell at me? Yeah, it's like, it's node, it's not control or whatever. I'm going to have to probably just go through this boobel. And then count, child count would be current max or icon count or bubble count, I guess. Bubble count, which was the int. Basically, here's a situation. I want to clean it up so that if the bubble count is greater than the max value, then we got to get rid of the bubbles to match the max value. So let's say, hey, while the bubble count is greater than, which I guess I should probably call this. No, you know what? I'm not going to even do that. That's causing for trouble. I want to do a for loop here. For I is 0 all the way to the bubble count, which happens to be the child count. Child count. Oh my gosh. Notice what I'm doing here. Okay, I don't know if I told you, but I've been doing some leak code to kind of brush up on my thing, and obviously my go-to programming language is Java. So I've been doing that all weekend. So now I'm like, forgot how to write for loop in GD script. Jeez. Alex says, a second season of Dragon Ball Once Upon a Time, a remake of Beerus arc. Oh, really? They're remaking it? And a brand new game? That's pretty interesting. I mean, if they update it for good, I guess it's good. We could. I guess the question is, what is canon? How much are they going to change it? Tanner says, is there optimization or other downfalls for using it? I think I just explained it. Hopefully you heard that. I explained the downside before I even saw your question. Hopefully that answered. Tao says, I used tool and an exported button to test multiple player skins in an editor. Yeah, a lot of visual stuff that you want to confirm on the editor. You probably want to do tool tag. I always say, as soon as you have like the process logic in your code, try to avoid having tool tag, because that can like really mess things up. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but that's just kind of how it goes. Debbie says, Legendary Dev, yes, I like your game, haha. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody get along. Oroku says, Java, ah. Hey, Java's where all the service makers are using still, just because most of the services, when they got created back when, they were hiring a bunch of Java people. I bet right now it's mostly Java and Node.js still, just because that's what's been used for most of the bigger companies. I can't imagine them migrating that out. Okay, bubble count, we don't need that. So basically we're saying child count minus max value, which I guess we kind of want to do this only if this is greater than 0, meaning there's more icon exists than the max value. Then we're going to go and remove that many stuff. which is, I guess, like, doesn't matter where I take it from. I just get child of the container, which is the icon container. Get the index, and then we're just going to queue free this. And it's going to go away. I don't know if I have to remove first. I might have to, actually. Because there could be a side effect. If I don't remove the child first later when I try to go back and turn it on, it may misbehave. So we might go like this. We'll say, hey, I could even keep it instead of, oh, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to do it this way. Get the child. We're going to remove these child. We're going to do one assignment at a time. I might have to do it this way. Okay, so var removing icon, which will be arrays of stamina bubble, which will be empty for now. And then we're going to push back, add. This is one downside of jumping between different code actively. It's really confusing sometimes. So we have removing icons, and then now we're going to go through the icon, H box container, remove child, the icon, and then we're going to queue free the icon. Like so. Oof. I'm going to sneeze. My eyes are getting all teary and about to sneeze. I need to find a volume. I don't know if I actually got sick. I hope not. I hope it's just fatigue. Oh, Devi says, bless you. I didn't get to sneeze, but I did blow my nose. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really low energy here, huh? Okay, so we got rid of a bunch of stuff. Now, if we say, hey, you know what? If this difference, right? Otherwise, if the difference between the max value to child count is positive, meaning our max value is bigger than how much exists or how many exist, we're going to go through I in the difference, this many, and we're going to add that in. Expects container and child, the new bubble. And new bubble will be instantiated over here. Stamina bubble. And then our first thing is update next icon. By doing that, we're adding new bubble by instantiating a stamina bubble. Instantiate. And then we're adding that in to the HBox, which automatically organizes. Devi says allergies. No, it's just I don't usually go out, but last night I decided to go out, and it was cold. I was warm. I was dressed warm, but I was outside for a little bit, so just generally tired from the outing hangover, so to speak. Even though I don't drink, I don't know if you can relate. Just day after socializing can be burdensome on your body. Tenor is like, your body's like, how dare you leave the house? Yeah, exactly. It's punishing me. It's like, you know you're built for sitting on a chair all day and maybe do a stretch every now and then. How dare you? Speaking of socializing, this Friday I'm excited. I'm hanging out with one of my friends that we like to play board games with. So it's going to be all day event. It's going to be great. That reminds me, I should probably message him. Hey, just checking on plans for this Friday. Still on? Devi says, I don't drink and would rather stay home every chance I get. Yeah. Hey, I get it, but sometimes we gotta go somewhere for people we care about. Tara says, I'd rather have a drink with friends at a house and not outside. It's true. Some people just enjoy outside. Everybody's different, I think. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is going to change the max. Now for values, I guess for everything, bubble and get H box, get children. What we're going to do is if the, I should probably do it. We're going to go through max value, and then we're going to say var bubble, which is going to be bubble, stamina bubble here. Saying the word bubble a lot is kind of low-key hard. I don't know why especially when your nose is all stuffed up. Get child I. We're getting the ith child. And then, what are we doing here? We're grabbing the ith child, and if we say bubble is full, will be equal to the fact that if the I is below the value, right? So if the I is above the value, it's going to be false, and if it's below, it's going to be true. And this, since this is pretty strictly visual component, I think it can be a tool tag here. A lot of times when you do tool tag, while you're working on that scene, you do need to reopen it because the whole like on ready part of the logic sometimes needs to get queued up. And if you added the on ready later after opening the thing, then it's not going to have all the on ready variables fitted in. So, all right. So we do 1, 1 here. Clearly it's not working here. Let me just make sure oh, that's right. We got to call this now. So we're going to say set whenever we're setting the value. We're going to do the render. If is node ready, do the update render here. Max as well. Do if is node ready. Whoa! Oh, almost deleted all the code. Then we're going to do update render. And we should do it on ready as well. Might as well. And then we're going to close this out and open this again. Hopefully it won't crash. Ooh. Oh, I mean, it's kind of working. So look, if I increase the max button, it's increasing the count. It does seem like we have some issues with the bubble sizing. It's kind of cool in some ways that it feels. Look. Wow, I accidentally made a progress bar like that's divided by the increments. not intended to be this way, but it's okay. This is a good start. Next thing is that we got to make sure that the bubbles are set up correctly. The way we're going to do it is making sure that the size is the size of the texture. The minimum needs to be given, I think. So we'll do minimum here to be 32 by 32. Not going to do any anchoring just yet. And then go over to stamina display here. We'll make it 2 here, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Something's working. this this extra one is kind of weird. I don't know what's happening there. Um, there it is. It just needs to be reloaded. Okay, we got an HBox container. I'm gonna make the stamina display so that it's not doing all that. And then now we can go max value. I wonder if I can make it so that the display bar. Oh, thanks for the raid. Hey K, welcome. We've got K raid. Let's give our K a shout out here. I'm going to follow for future rating. Hope you had a great stream here. Welcome, raiders. Sorry if I'm lower energy today. I'm low energy right now because I'm feeling a little bit sniffly and sick. But normally we're pretty hyped over here. Okay, let's see what the raid message is. Kay says, the build loads, something breaks. It's an okay raid for developer Ezra. The build, oh, it's a repeat. Hello, Kay. Kay says, absolutely awesome. Broke a game 3 times. Perfect. Oh, shame. Hope you feel better soon. Yeah, no problem. And thank you for the good wishes. We love a raider. You know what that means? Whenever we get a raid, depending on the raid number, we get a number of seconds or minutes for 10% shiny chance. So right now, everyone, if you plant the berries and water the berries through our Twitch redeem, you have a chance of getting a shiny berry folk. Try to go for that. What does it do? Nothing. You're just collecting them all. Can you trade them? Like you can trade them. You can gift your berries to other people. But, you know, that's not the point. Redeem your berries. Get your shiny, everyone. Get your cute berries. My favorite still is the squat berry and the... Actually, I like the hollow berry. Hey, Tenuros got the shiny Godot berry. Congrats. Wow. Look at that. Now, we're gaming here. Thanks for the follow, Kay. Okay. So this is kind of working, more or less. Kind of annoying that the... Oh, it does... Oh, okay. I'm surprised that that works. Huh. Interesting. Oh, dang. All right. So it resizes too. Perfect. Perfect. I didn't mean it for it to be that way, but it just seems like it works. So we're going to keep this up here. Max value 1. Maybe I'll do 4 to start. Tanner says accidental perfection. Yeah, exactly. Kay says, so what are you working or what are you making? Making a game on Godot. Specifically, I mean, I make a lot of games here. But to our as to be true to the indie habits, I haven't finished a game yet. I made so many games, I haven't finished it. I mean, I made some prototypes, I made some game gen games, but in the last 3 years of game development, I did a lot of challenges. I made a lot of contents on YouTube, but didn't really publish anything. So the goal is we're going to publish something this year. And I actually have planned to publish a lot of games. This game in particular is a project that I started as my weekly update. I have a video on my channel, on YouTube channel, if you go visit. I'm starting in this like accountability group in my Discord where basically whoever feels less than motivated in the past certain years or days, we're going to have our weekly updates on our little Discord, getting people to be accountable for each other. We're looking at each other's progress, getting excited for sharing and seeing. So we got pretty good traction so far. We're on our second week. The game I'm making is inspired because I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 Honors Mode. And I was thinking it would be fun to make the combat portion where you're making a build, doing a class build and stuff like that into a roguelike aspect. So I have this like tile-based game mock-up that I created. But basically the idea is like, okay, it's like side profile, tile-based game kind of game with Baldur's Gate style action thing a little bit, like RPG style. But then in reality, between combats, it progresses like Slay the Spire, where you choose maps, gain experience to add to your talent tree. So instead of having deck building, you're building your character via collecting relics and items for passive effects and upgrading your talent tree based on the weapons. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. So far, we just first week we did ideation and mock-up. Second week we did the entity relationship architectural design, which I usually skip, but I decided to do this time because I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try to finish, and part of like committing to that is doing the real project management stuff. So I did that, and then I uploaded to GitHub and start doing issue tracking. Actually having a prototype goal as a label here, and then doing some project management. So I'm doing it properly in hopes that that'll help me keep tracking. Tao says, sounds like I need to join the Discord. Yeah, you should. Join the Discord. Go check out the YouTube video. We did a lot of fun stuff here. Kay says, you don't use dark mode on Discord? That's horrifying. I know, everybody comments on that. I actually really like light mode. So dark mode used to be the first thing I do when I was in like middle school and high school back in the day. Back when. And then as I aged, I'm like, this feels too dark. I need my brightness. I need my default design. Somebody designed that for us to enjoy. so for Discord, I just purposely do light mode. I haven't read this update yet. I need to look at the most recent one. Hey, somebody already posted their own beginning of devlog. We do some stuff, and I give my solicited / unsolicited content making advice. I'm not huge, but I have some following on YouTube, enough that I feel like I understand it a little bit. I feel like if I have to restart, I think I could do much better. So we'll see. So far, the goal right now is I'm going to finish this prototype within next week or two, get the graphical components all set up. And then this is one thing I really want to do. I want to make so my channel is for other developers. I want to make a channel for players that's targeted towards players to advertise this game in particular. So, because the story I want to tell is, okay, everybody's talking about how like, oh, you are doing content making for other developers. You have ability to do development stuff and teach people. So it works, but it doesn't work for me. I want to kind of crash that and say, you know what, like using the knowledge I have, I want to prove that you can make a channel for that's targeting general audience that's still good for your game, kind of like marketing a little bit. So that's a goal. And of course, I can make another video on my dev channel being like, hey, I made a new channel for a game and I got blah, blah, blah. And that would be a good interest point for a lot of developers who's like, should I make devlog? Nobody's going to watch it. Well, you may be right. You may be right, but let me prove it first, is the idea. Sorry if I'm speaking like all over the place right now. I'm feeling a little bit dopey, as I said before. Center top here. I'm going to put stamina right here for now. And this, hopefully, yes, it does work. Nice. It aligns nicely. We have a stamina display now available on our combat board display. And this one probably will be reacting to according to my entity relationship. The board display does listen directly to player information change. That's great, which I think is already connected. On player info change, we're going to grab the stamina value. Let's see. Action panel, that's for updating the action. And then I'm going to Update stamina, which will be, I suppose I'll grab that as on ready. Let's see, stamina display max value will equal to the player info stamina. Ooh, that's something I need to register or create here. Seems max health equipment position. We're going to create a new value called stamina, which I guess can be 4. And then max stamina here. Cedric says, you don't want to vibe code your game? I mean, sure, I guess that could be something I can do. I just don't want to spend time setting it up. It's just, okay, so a few times I tried something like that. I still haven't felt the benefit yet. I could, but I don't really see the need to. I haven't run into any issues where I feel like, you know what, I want to skip this part. I mean, there's sometimes some parts, but I guess I'm like actually perfectly set up for it because I have the design. I can be like, here's a design, here's a task, do them. But I don't know. I kind of like how I'm organizing it. So no, not really. Ads starting here in a bit. I'll wait for the ad to finish before I answer, I guess. Cedric here. Where was I? Stamina max value is going to be stamina, or max stamina actually. And then stamina displays value is going to be board state, player info, stamina here. Sick. Ugh. I also rubbed my nose so much because I was blowing my nose so much that I feel like this abrasion of irritation. Excuse me. Which is kind of annoying. All right. Now that the stamina is set up, I can test something real quick. So this is my combat tester, right? This is the entry point for my combat. And if I come over here, you can see that I can set up players' stats. So if I change my player stat to be 1 stamina and 2 max to begin with, when I start the game, it should update, which it did. Beautiful. 2, and then one of them is filled, and one of them is... Hello? Am I back? I don't know if I'm back on the same stream. I tried the claim stream. Am I back? I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Okay. I'm back on YouTube for sure. You know, I figured that I would be better now because I changed to wire in, but it seems like, yeah, the bitstream bitrate is good, but it seems like I do disconnect every now and then. I'm just happy that I don't have to restart the stream because that just messes up with the whole like YouTube part of the stream. All right. Well, I'm glad I'm back. CPP hater says Twitch is back. Devi says denied. Kay's like, oh no. Sorry, I was frozen. Ugh, look at this. View count 0 now because every time I restart, you know, Twitch needs to own up to that and not count that as average. Especially when I'm like over here trying to get partnered. Sad. Anyways, okay. I think we're okay here. I just did stamina display. So I can close that issue. This is issue number 27. So let me get my PowerShell out. CD Godot project Rogue RPG, I think is called. Yeah. So I'm going to add these. Resolves number 27, stamina display icon, and update based on player data. Okay, that's going to be pushed. And then next one, now that the stamina display works, I need to do the stamina cost for action, meaning executing actions should cost stamina. And then the enabledness, maybe, or maybe there should be a warning of actions being usable and not usable based on the stamina count. So that happens over on game display. So game display is going to control the clickability. The clickability is going to say action helper. It's going to try to get the implementation of the action. That's just executing. I don't know if the eligibility of executing should be, you know what, I think I'm going to have the combat action implementation, the action helper, handle the spending of stamina. The disabling might happen on player change. CPPator says, I think vibe coding gives you a bad habit of skipping valuable fundamentals simply by doing stuff that you aren't confident with for you. Nerd emoji. I agree. Tenor says, I use AI to tell it what I want to do and then reiterate my ideas a handful of times to create a plan document just so I can organize my thoughts in a much cleaner method than I ever would. They are part of documenting and constructing and formatting your ideas that is easily skipped via Gen AI, but I would say, like, I don't know how long you've been in the industry, Tenorus, but I'm pretty sure when we say we're going to use vibe code to organize our thoughts versus when the entry position or people who are just learning vibe coding, I do feel like the quality is a little different because we're not using it to skip understanding, because we've already done the hard part, and understand them. So when we use it and when we curate it, it feels a little bit more directed. It's the difference between working with a peer that has just as much or just as little idea as you do, and then trusting their work versus working with someone that you hired where you know exactly what everything needs to do. You're just handing off some of the thinking to someone else, I think. But yet, still, I still enjoy manually typing everything out. Also, it's not that hard. I'm at a point where outside of this, if I like try to come up with a new game prototyping, a lot of the times there are enough scaffolding codes that I already have written that are generally applicable that I don't have to spend like weeks on end to prototype. So like the benefit of vibing is pretty minimal to me. Tara says, yeah, and if it tells me something I don't understand, I stop it to look into it and have it provide me real documentation that I can access instead. Yeah, exactly. There's a real reading comprehension test, which is like, how do you, like, there's like a sense of detecting like, okay, this is like assumption, or like they're making this up potentially. That's that sensation, or that sensation, that kind of like logic and skill does come with practice. It also comes with seeing a lot of BS come across your table from other people as well. Taylor says, I try to truly vibe code a project by just telling it over and over to do something, and it becomes a real disaster real fast. Yeah. I do want to do one thing where I want to see, I haven't had much luck, but I really want to find a trusted vibe coding game dev on somewhere, doesn't matter where, on what platform, to do a little collab to be like, hey, like let's make a same game where you vibe code and then I don't, just to see how the difference look. Because it's like if I went and said, hey, I tried vibe coding and it looks bad, it might as well be like, well, I had reason to make it look bad, or that I'm just not prompting correctly, like I'm not experienced in prompting, so that's why it did bad. I like the skill of doing that, so it's not a fair comparison. But at the same time, is it not? If it takes me just as much time to prompt correctly, then is it kind of worth it? Whatever. So there's a multiple question, I guess. That would be an interesting experiment to do. Okay. So stamina updates, we said we're gonna click on the action. Oh my god. I'm so sick right now. Let's see. Display on combat, state manager change, that's fine. And turn combat finish ready. Where is this being handled? Ah, here it is. On action pressed, I'm getting the action helper, and then I'm just calling execution here. The data update, I think we're gonna do the data update through the combat controller here, right? I don't have access to, yeah, I can only access the data through the controller. So I gotta make sure I do that. So we're gonna say action helper down here, which is this one right here. On execute, I do think that it should probably do stamina, cooldown, cost check, etc. Cost check here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a stamina cost check. Well, this one is assuming that the execution is happening from the player. I got to make sure. I do want it to be generally applicable so that anyone can call this. Ads already playing on Twitch again. Oh, it's because I restarted. Sorry for ads. Sorry for ads. I guess restarting it, reset the ad timer. Okay, well for now, the general design would be like having source as like the execution source, but I think I'm going to do this for now. And I'll do that separately. But basically, if it is player action, then we're going to do stamina check. Hi, Baka. And then that's going to be done through controller. We're going to get the state information. And we're going to get the player information here. And then check stamina. var player info, which will be player info here. And then we grabbed it. Hey, Tenorist, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Welcome. You know, I haven't said this in a while. There is actually a membership benefit, guys. You probably didn't know because I haven't said it in a while. And thanks for supporting me regardless. If you have your Twitch and YouTube linked to the Discord and you're in our Discord channel, you get an access to the member only chat. There's a member general, and then there's a member downloads. You get a free isometric tile set that I created for sale. I mean, I know it's only $1.45, so it's not much of a value, but you get access to it. And anytime I make changes to it, obviously I update it. So if you're in the market for needing an isometric map, you get access to that. Yeah, it has a lot of stuff. You can see all these things. Daniel says the Discord link doesn't work for me. Oh, is the link expired? Do I need to create a new link? Sorry, everyone. Oh, you mean the linking doesn't work? Like linking your account doesn't work? Oh, you can't join? Weird. Here, let me create a new one just in case. Here we go. Yeah. A hidden value you didn't know about. So why not give me one of those free Twitch subs and get your free tile set for future? Didn't work? Jeez. You might already be in there. What's your here? Maybe I could search here. Tanny. I don't see it. Perhaps I should manually invite you. Seems like other people are having a fine time. Huh. Suspicious. You can DM me if you can find my name. I don't know if I should advertise that. Is that something that I should keep hidden? Iodice says you got banned before even you joined. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. How about this? This might be safer. Give me... Devi says probably yes, yeah. Give me your... I'll send a friend request to you and then invite you to the Discord channel that way. What's your... Oh, you did it? Okay, cool. Good, I don't have to add you to my friend list. I didn't want you as my friend anyways. That's just kidding. Welcome. Get your free stuff. Okay, so player info here. We're checking for stamina, right? So is stamina sufficient? Which is comparison between stamina versus the cost, which is cost of the action. Var action node is one of these things. Oh, no. And then action node has come down here. I think it has action stamina cost on it. Yes. So we have stamina cost here. I'll probably do this over here. Sufficient. If it's a player, we're going to do this. If it is sufficient, we're going to execute it. If it is not enough, we want to provide failure reason. Now, service. If you come from the backend engineering, when you're doing a lot of services, this is what I'm used to, okay? Typically, people might be like, oh, you could return Boolean saying true or false. But the thing is, there are many potential reasons why execute has failed. And of course, GDScript doesn't have try and catch, does it? There's no throw and catch, right? So you can't give different exceptions to identify different reasons it has failed. We need to provide different ways to reason it. So technically, um, I almost feel like this is an overkill, but I kind of want to give a return of error type and error message. Terry says we can still be friends. I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can. And I think insufficient. Maybe I could even simplify it by providing an enum. So we can have enum execute result and have a success. We can have a stamina, insufficient stamina. Stamina. And then we can give cooldown not ready, like so. And then we can return this as a execution result. And of course, we can return execute result dot success as part of this. And because I don't want to do like nesting, I want the success case to be the end. I want to do this where basically return insufficient stamina here. Then it also gives us an opportunity to do cooldown not ready here. Dennis, I don't know how to say this. Stan is lost. Laws says, I'm new to Godot. Can you explain the UID? This one is to identify resources via unique ID. This was added actually in 4.5, I believe, or 4.4. I don't remember. It's pretty recent. So we had this traditional issue where if you would do one of these things like that, you can load resources via resource path, right? You can be like, oh, under resource, under combat, under action, defend action. The problem is sometimes you need to reorganize things. And a lot of times the auto correction of the path doesn't really happen. Unique ID makes it so that you can uniquely identify the scene, the resource itself, the scene, the texture, whatever, that is irrelevant to the path. The path is being uploaded, I think, by the index, the cache of the engine, the editor. And so this UID identifies path irrelevant. So I like using UID so that it's not sensitive to directories. And the way I do it, I'm sure there's multiple ways to find it. The way I do it is I drag, and then before dropping, hold the control. Then it creates this automatically with the UID when you drag and drop with the control held down.